Hey, Angie here. Now, the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he had seen my last video about life's lessons and things that I wish that I'd learned from my mother. And we were talking about it, and he asked me, what is the fondest memory that you have of your mother? And I thought about it for a while. And this memory came to mind, and that is that my mum, she was a hardworking woman. She was a nurse and she worked at night. So that meant that during the day, she would sleep. So all those little daily activities, she didn't really take part in them. And my dad, who used to work, but he used to come home, and then he used to come home and take care of us. He had to cook dinner and he would help us with our homework and things like that. And that's why I think that dads are really important, because my dad, where my mum couldn't reach, what my mum couldn't do, my dad took over. And that's why I think that dads are really important, just as important as mothers. Anyway, my mum, she wasn't there for most of the days. Now, at that time, I studied the piano and I also studied the trombone. Yeah, I know, go figure, but your girl used to play the trombone. And I used to study quite a lot. And my mum, she always made sure that she helped me when I studied. And when I had an exam, now I don't remember when the exams were, if it was like every 6 months or every year, I'm not quite sure. But whenever it was exam time, doesn't matter what time of the day it was, whether my mum had rested or not, she would come downstairs and sit in the front room in the comfortable chairs and listen to me rehearse. And she would give me advice like, you're playing that too fast, take your time, relax, don't worry about it. And she'd give me little advice, and she was great help. Now, on the day that I had the exam, and the exams were at the Royal School of Music in the centre of London, it would always be just me and my mum. And we would take the bus together. It was quite a journey. And we would go to the Royal School of Music. And my mum, as soon as we got there, she would go and search throughout the whole of the building to find an empty rehearsal room so that I could get my last rehearsal in. And when eventually they called me, because it was my time to go and do the exams, she always had that look on her face, which quite frankly, even now, I don't really know what that look meant. It was a look of pride and fear and happiness, a mixture of all kinds of things. And she would look at me and she wouldn't say anything, but she would like nod. She would nod at me as if to say, you go girl, you've got this. And then I'd go and do the exam. And when I came out, she'd always ask me, well, how did it go? How did you feel? How do you think it went? And she was always, always positive. And I always felt that she was on my side. And when we went home, we would always pass by a nice shop and she would get me something special to eat. That is a memory that I carry very, very dear with me about my mum. Because even though she was tired and even if she had to work, that was that one moment that was mine and hers. And I really appreciate that. And then I was thinking also that there is one lesson that my mum did teach me. And I'm thinking, how the hell did I forget this? How could I do my mum like that? I forgot the one lesson that she taught me. And she always used to tell me, whenever you go out, whenever you leave the house, make sure you have your Bex money. Now, Bex in Jamaican patois means angry, upset, annoyed. So that just simply means wherever you're going, if you get there and if you don't like the people, you don't like the atmosphere, you're not comfortable being there, make sure you have enough money with you that you can get a bus or a cab or whatever it is to get your ass out of there. That is something that has always stayed with me. Even now, I have taught my daughter that. Of course I have. Make sure that if you're uncomfortable somewhere, if you don't want to be there, make sure you have money to get a cab, a bus, the tube, or if all else fails, you can always call mum. So that is definitely one life lesson that my mum taught me. Now that is enough talking. Let me be quiet and let me let you watch the video. This is Life Lessons Part 2 and it's about motherhood. So without further ado, let me leave you to it. Enjoy. Now without a doubt, I'm a more talkative mother than my mother was with me. I'm a bit more open because I talk about everything with my daughter, from dating to sex to all kinds of stuff. There is no subject that is taboo with my daughter. But I have to say, when it comes to discipline, I am very similar to my mum. And that kind of surprised me. I thought I would be different, but I'm really not. So I guess even though she's not here with me, she lives on, because she sure as hell lives on through me when I'm telling my daughter a couple of things. And I see her in my sister too. So you know what, mum definitely lives on. I wish I could have had the conversation with my mum about motherhood and about the fact that, as beautiful as it is, it's not always easy. It really isn't. Sometimes you're filled with doubt. You don't know if you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you feel backed into a corner because you have to face certain things that you don't want to face. And let's be honest, just me and you. Sometimes the kids can get on your last nerves. And it's not easy. It's not easy being grounded and keeping that self-control and not completely just losing it. Because I'm not one of the most patient of people. And I really try to be. I really try to be. But God knows that it's not easy. I love being a mum. I enjoy it. But it's not always the easiest thing to do. I wish mum could have told me at the beginning when I first got my daughter that taking care of myself, self-care, wasn't selfish. If I needed to step away for a minute, then I should do that. If I felt overwhelmed, there was nothing wrong with me just saying, you know what, I can't do this. And that means asking help from people who you trust, like family members or friends. If you need to ask them for help for a while, there is nothing wrong with that. As much as you love your children, as much as you adore them and worship them, sometimes it's nice just to be on your own, just to have a bath. I remember when I first got my daughter, and my daughter is adopted, and when I first had her, for the first few weeks, I couldn't go into the bathroom alone. It was impossible, because I would go into the bathroom and she would stay outside and cry because she didn't want to be on her own. And in those moments, not even to go to the bathroom could I be alone. So in those moments, that if I needed help, not to be afraid to ask for it, to ask my husband or to ask a partner or to ask a friend. Just, you know, I need help right now. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Can you help me? There is nothing wrong with that. There is no shame in it. And I know a lot of us might feel bad at the fact that we need help, but there is nothing wrong with it. It's much better that you ask for help and get the help that you need, rather than to sit there and your mental health to go down the drain. You're upset and overwhelmed and overworked and tired and frustrated, and then maybe take it out on the kids. So you know what? There really is no shame and nothing wrong in asking for help. Another thing I wish that I had a mother to tell me, and that is that if you do make a mistake and if you do something wrong, it's okay. Forgive yourself. And I'm not talking about anything dangerous or abusive, anything like that. I'm just talking about the normal everyday things that we're going to make mistakes. We're going to maybe say something that we shouldn't, probably going to do something that we shouldn't. And that's okay, because you know what? There is no perfect mother. Now, we all strive to be perfect and we all want to be the best. And so we should. We all want to be the best. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the perfect mother doesn't exist, and we're going to make mistakes. So we're going to have to learn to embrace that, not feel guilty about it, move on, accept it. Okay, I screwed up, shouldn't have done that, on to the next thing, and learn from it. Learn from the mistakes that you've made and make sure that you don't do it in the future. But whatever it is, we need to stop guilt tripping ourselves and feeling bad about ourselves. It happens. We make mistakes. Let's move on. Something that I wasn't prepared for when I became a mother, and that is all these new skills that I would learn. Skills such as patience, because I wasn't the most patient person. But when you have children, you have to be. You have to be resilient, strong, and a problem solver. You have to think quickly. Mummy, how come? Mummy, this is broken. Can you help me? What do I do? And you have to solve that problem. Mummy, this is what about? And you have to solve the problem. I didn't know that I could be so quick and be so efficient as a problem solver. But you do when you're a mum. So you get all these new skills that come with motherhood. And I had no clue. I had no idea because nobody ever told me. But it's wonderful. It's great. I love it. Hey, let me shoot in here real quick. I just want to say, I know that a lot of you are watching my videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But at the same time, a lot of you aren't giving the videos a thumbs up and you're not leaving a comment. Now, I know that it might seem like nothing to you, but those little gestures really help in YouTube's algorithm, and they help to send out my videos to more people so that more people can see them and hopefully enjoy them. So if you like these videos, if you want to show your appreciation, please thumbs up the videos or leave a comment, whichever is better for you. And if you really want to be crazy, you can do both. Let me thank you in advance. Thank you so much. So let me leave you to the rest of the video. I'm out. One thing I've learned along the way of motherhood, and that is to listen to the little things that your kids tell you. Because it might be little to you, but for them it's enormous. And don't patronize them. Don't make fun of them. Take them seriously and listen to them. And if you listen to them in the little things, as they get older, they will still confide in you in the big things. And that's what I've learned, because I was always there with my daughter when she was telling me her little secrets and her little problems and the little things that she used to do with her little girlfriends. And now that she's older, she knows that she can trust mum. She knows that she can come to me for advice, and she does. So that's something that I didn't know. I had to learn that. And sometimes I do wish that I could speak about that with my mum. Now, another thing that I had to learn, but I kind of got it pretty quickly, to be honest with you, this one. And that is not to be friends with your children. We're not friends. This is mum and you're the child. And I see a lot of people who want to be like best friends with their children, and it doesn't work. Because at some point, you're going to have to discipline them. At some point, you're just going to have to tell them what's what. And if you're their best friend, you can't tell them nothing. Who are you to tell them? You're the friend. You haven't earned that mother role. You haven't earned that mother figure. I'm happy to say that is something that I put down. I laid that down pretty early on in our relationship. This is mum and you're the child. I love you. I want the best for you. We can have fun together. We can hang out. We can chat and laugh. But we're not friends. And that had to be very, very clear. And I'm pretty glad that that's something that I learned. So yeah, that's something that I had to learn pretty early on when I became a mother. Another thing that I had to learn, and that is that I had to be consistent with discipline. And that means that if you say to a child, if you do that again, you're going to bed. If the child does it again, they have to know what? They have to know they're going to bed. There are so many times that I've been with friends and family who will shout at their kid, look, Johnny, if you do it again, no dinner. And Johnny does it again and they still get dinner. Not in my house. Not in my house. If you let me get to the point where I have to threaten you and I say to you, if you do that again, walk your happy backside to your room, then guess what happens if you do it again? Take a guess. My daughter learnt that quick. But she tried it at first. Oh yeah, she tried it. Of course she did. But she learned earlier on that when mummy says something, that's what mummy means. And mummy might be sad to have to enforce it. It might pain mummy even more than it pains her. But guess what's going to happen? It's going to happen though. It sure is. Because I warned you and I told you. And in that moment you had a choice. And you could have listened to me or you could have chosen to do your own thing. And you chose to do your own thing. So guess what? You're not too young to pay the consequences. Good night. Yeah, but I wanted to watch. I told you if you mucked around, you're going to go to your bed. I don't care. Yeah, but I wanted to watch. Good night. And that's something quite honestly that I learned pretty early on. Even to this day, to be honest with you, I still use it with my daughter. Even though she's gone on 22, I don't care. Because if I say something, she might ignore me. But sometimes I'll say, look, if you do that, right, you know you're not going to go out next week. That party you're going to, you're not going to. Because if I get to the point where I make a threat, she stops what she's doing and she changes the attitude because she knows that when mummy says it, mummy means it. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I don't play. And I think the last thing, and I think I'm going to wrap this up. The last thing, I really wish that my mum had told me about motherhood. And that is, you can give your children the world. You can love them to death. You can want the best for them. But if you think that that is going to make them grateful, then you have just opened yourself up to a world of disappointment, because it doesn't work that way. And that's the truth. If you think that just by loving your kids and giving them everything that they want, they're going to be grateful, and no, they will still moan because they want more, or they'll moan because it wasn't enough. And that's sadly what it is, because kids want what they want. And that doesn't mean that they're going to be grateful when they get it. And as frustrating as that is, and as annoying as that is, it is what it is. And that's what kids are. That's what kids do. And I would have loved to have my mum tell me that, and maybe incorporate a couple of stories about me and how ungrateful I was, which I'm sure I was. And, you know, it saddens me that I'll never have that conversation. But I try to make up with these things, having the conversation with my daughter. And all of this, I guess, to say, and that is that mums are so important. My mum is gone for almost 20 years and I still miss her. I miss the conversations that we never got to have. And that doesn't mean that dads aren't important too, because they are. And you all know that I think that dads are important. They have their role, and dads are just as important. But it's things with the mothers are different. The relationship with the mothers are different. Not better or worse, just different. And I guess a mother is a mother. There's a special kind of thing there. But yeah, you know, I miss my mother. I do. I miss my mother. I didn't really appreciate her when I was growing up. I just thought that she wanted to cramp my style or stop me from having fun. You know, the usual kind of things. But now I wish I could tell her certain things like, Mum, you know, well, all those things that you used to say, I get it now. I wish I could tell her that. So that's it, beautiful people. That's it for another video. Maybe I was all over the place. I don't know. But I'll try to get it together in the editing. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. It's been fun walking down memory lane and thinking about my mum and stuff like that. And even though missing her, it's also nice to miss someone, because missing someone means that they are loved. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. I look forward to seeing you soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.